How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another week of locals. Hope you're all having a great set 9, enjoying the One Piece TCG. I am bringing Vivi back to locals. Unfortunately, this week it was not my week, I'll be honest, but we had fun, and that's the biggest thing. Shout out to Kaizoku Cards for sending me out this Vivi leader to play with. It looks just amazing. I really love it. Also, shout out to Nen Garden. You know, I got the Shanks playmat from them. You can use coupon code StrawHatPekin for 5% off any of their playmats. Not affiliated with Kaizoku Cards, but he did send me out the custom leader, right? So big shout out to that. Also, if you want to support me, I got my TCG player affiliate link in the description. If you guys want to pick up any singles, you can do so there. But getting into this, I do have a new list for Vivi. Shout out to my buddy Kunal for helping me cook up this list. Helping me is a bit of an overstatement. He really just made the list and I just tried it out. I think maybe I have to just adjust my play style a little bit overall, and we can kind of all point out my mistakes and learn from it. Remember to be nice to my opponents. These are all real people who are very gracious to even allow me to record these videos, right? So shout out to them. Don't be overly critical of any of my opponents or just mean, right? Like, it's just a locals. We're here to have fun. Nothing is that serious, I promise you. But as always, I'll have the deck list at the end we can go over. But yeah, I really like the list. I think I just need to change my play style a bit. Getting into it, you can see my hand. We got Duval. I think a really great card for Vivi, not gonna lie. On 4 Dawn, you know, you can stack your deck and then draw one of those other cards. Similar to ulti, but we just establish a blocker rather than just a 5k swinger. Our opponent plays out the law, picks up Zoro. We are going second. Also, shout out to him for the 2 Dawn cards you see. I'll post them on the screen, or just, you know, hold them up to the camera. But yeah, Dragon for a little bit of aggression, right, on 8 Dawn. If we don't have anything to really pop with a Rayleigh or stun with the Boa, Dragon is another option just to add a little bit of aggression, kind of rush down your opponent. Opponent plays out the Zoro, gets back those 2 active Dawn. But yeah, put the Marco back in. If you guys remember the list I ran a while ago, Marco was a staple for a long time. However, in this list particularly, we don't have a ton of events, but the popping of something with 3k power or less is very applicable in a lot of meta matchups, right? With either Doflamingo getting rid of the Teach. So here we're just doing the Duval combo, playing out. Looking top 3. I think I just want to keep the Grab Blade for later. Get a 2k counter for now. It's not bad because we do have a decent amount of bricks in the hand. But yeah, big things to note for this list is bumped the Boa back up to 4, added in a couple of dragons. No more of the film 10 cost Shanks, just running the rush one. Again, I've always said that the film Shanks is really good for when you have a lot of Enel running around. Before EBO2 with that new 10 cost Enel coming out, right, that has like 11k power, which you can't pop with the film Shanks anyway. But right now, anything in the Enel kind of gets popped. And then he goes 6 of life, we counter 2. 5 of life, we counter. Draw a Rayleigh, we go up to 6 Dawn. Just go 6 for the Boa. So then Zoro can attack, and we bottom deck the Law. Just kind of holding off a little bit of the aggression until we get to late game to play our big bodies, right? But yeah, past Enel, the film Shanks didn't really get too much. Like, it was really good into green, being that it could pop any 9 cost Zoro or 10 cost Doflamingo. However, not a lot of people playing green either, so sad. I will definitely bring back Bonnie, try to make it a little bit better. Opponent plays out the Gecko Moria and deciding what he wants to bring back with it. I'm telling him, I think Frankie is the better option here, right? Because you get Dawn back through leader ability to swing a little bit higher, right? You can swing 6k with your leader, requiring a 2k out of my hand. And you get to still draw those 2 cards. And also Frankie technically can swing, right? Being a 5k power stat line versus Onami, I think is 2k power. So here goes swinging 6. And I think we give a 2k counter. Or I don't know why I took that. I'll be honest, I shouldn't have. Because I know that I'm drawing into that Grav Blade. And we can Grav Blade here. It's not horrible. Get rid of both its blockers. So, but we go... See, I think we had the Rayleigh already. So I don't know why I needed to take that hit when I could have just 2k'd out of it. Knowing that he has the Gecko Moria. Maybe I thought he was going to swing at my bodies and I wanted some counter to protect Boa. But if I'm him, I'm probably just not going to swing at the Boa when now I'm at 3 life, right? If I'm at 4 with less cards in my hand, then it's more safe to swing at the board, right? But so here the Zoro is minus 2k for the turn after we use the minus 3k from Rayleigh to pop the Sabo blocker after it had its turn of KO immunity. So we got rid of the Zoro swing for the turn essentially while also getting rid of one of his blockers. But he plays out the 9 cost Rush Luffy using the effect to gain Rush, draw a card, and then he'll have 2 active Don back. He swings 6, we go 2k. And then 9 at Boa. And I'm like, okay, he has a 10k. And I really want to keep Boa. So I go 2 1ks. And goes 10 at Boa. We block. Again, I want to try to save my board. So if I can possibly respond to his with a Rayleigh. I think here I should play out that 10 cost Shanks. Just to kind of even out stuff, right? Like... Rayleigh's not bad here because I get to draw a card. However, I feel like I play out the 10 cost Rush Shanks and I still get through to the Gecko at least. And then Luffy is just a little bit less. And then if he, you know, plays out the 10 drop, I think that helps me a little bit having like 1 to 2 Rush Shanks out, right? And then we go 8 of life. He uses Gum Gum Giant. And we go another 8 of life. And he takes. Yeah, I guess if I did counter out that first 6k swing that I talked about, he swung another 6 a following turn anyway. So he would have probably taken. However, still probably should have, just for gameplay sense, counted out of the first one. But here he plays out the Rush Sanji. So again, yeah, I think the 10 cost Shanks just minusing his whole board by 1k would have helped. Because then Sanji would only be a 6k swing, right? For 7 Don, that's a pretty big investment to swing only 6. And here I'm... Because I like looking at my hand, I don't have a lot of counter, but playing out that 10 cost Shanks essentially gives me a 3k counter worth of value for those 3 bodies, right? Here's going 6 at life, and he has 3 Don up. We get another 10 cost Shanks, so not looking great, not looking great. We get the 0 cost event out of life, which is not bad. So we minus 3k from the Sanji for the turn. And then he goes 11. And then that's kind of gonna be it, right? Because now we're down to 0 life. Where if I feel like I play out that Shanks, I think we still the same thing happens though, to be honest. Now he has a Don up, so I know we're not going to get through with all these 8k swings, which we need, unfortunately, because we need him to take all 3 life and he just has the 2Ks and 1Ks. So we go 8 of Zoro. Yeah, I probably should have also just played out these Rayleigh blockers a little bit earlier. As you can see, they are a 5/6. And as long as your opponent has 2 characters with 5k power or more, right? You draw 2, trash 1. And I've totally made a mistake here that I should have trashed first. But we do pick up some counter at least. He has 2 bodies now, but again, if we had the shanks out, like that's more counter essentially. I feel like the rush shanks is really good to play out early. Like you get just so much value out of it lasting a few turns. So here he goes 7 of life, and just because, you know, he's not using any Don, I know, you know, we're kind of dead here because he's playing out the 10 costs, and I just don't have enough counter to survive that, right? And he goes 10, we block. So only 1 blocker, and I think a 2k counter. Yeah. So use lead ability from the 10 drop, so you get back that 2 and the 1, and then you rest another one to get another one from the 10 drop. Takes his second turn, going up to 5, and then at this point, yeah, all you really would need to do, attach all to Luffy, and attach all to, or and then swing with the 10 drop. But he has the event, which KOs a 6k power, which boom gets rid of my blocker. And I'm gonna be honest, I was really proud of him for winning this matchup. He's been on Black Purple Luffy for a minute, and I'm proud of him because he went far tonight, I believe. I think he went 4-1, I want to say, and got like second. So shout out to my man there. All right, shout out to our round 2 against Lim. Love seeing Lim getting some play at locals. We end up keeping the hand. I really think I needed to shuffle the deck around a little bit more. I'll be honest. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm just superstitious, but whenever I do a new deck list, I always have everything in their sets of like 4s, right? Everything. So it needs a lot of shuffling, right? Because everything's kind of all in their perfect sets. And I feel like you need a lot of like table shuffling and everything to kind of get rid of it. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but he just goes 5, plays out the Sabo, same Duval thing. A lot of 2k counters here. However, I'm like thinking like, yeah, I'm like, maybe we bottom deck it, but again, then if we bottom deck it, that's like a good chunk of our 2k counters. We run 12 in the deck, and then we use leader ability to draw a card and pass. That Sabo stands up, plays out the Law. See what he picks up for it. Hopefully it's not a 9-drop Zoro. It's the Robin, which definitely is applicable in this matchup against Rayleigh, right? Plays out the Lim, Searcher, and I believe he whiffs on this, which is unfortunate for that. But seeing that, I'm like, okay, maybe that was like a lot of his 9-drop Zoros. Who knows? Maybe that was a lot of his 10 drops. And then he goes 6. We take the leader of the swing though. After countering out of the 6, we go up 6 Don. Boa. I think seeing Boa at 4 copies, right? You can definitely tell, right? We see it a lot more often on curve when we need to see it, right? And it is helping us a lot because that Sabo can't swing now. 5 life, we counter out. 5, we give another 1k because he's already a 9 Don after ramping twice, right? And plays out that Zoro, which I'm like, oof. Okay, how do I respond to that properly? I think he has like 6 in hand or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna attach all to Boa, but I'm gonna be a little bit extra careful. We put Zoro down to a 9 or 7k power after Otama, and then we go 15 at 7. It goes, and I'm like, yeah, that was you know, maybe I didn't need to use the Otama, right? But I was going to feel dumb if I attached 16 and it lived. He plays out the Law. Finds Tsunami. So no Zoro, right? But now that Sabo can swing again, I debated keeping the Boa in hand for the 9-drop. It's really good against it, right? Just prevents it from swinging. But then I was like, okay, then it'll be able to restand. I don't have any film shanks to kind of deal with it later, right? He goes 6. I think life. But yeah, film shanks in this matchup really good. Just gets rid of all of their top end. He goes 6 of life. We counter out. And then 7 of life. He draws a card. We take. I'm countering out a little bit aggressively, but I'm planning to Ben Beckman probably. So I'll be able to draw an extra card with leader ability. We're back up. We're at 10 Don. Honestly, yeah, I think the 10 drop shanks is a bit of a move right here, because then that means getting through the Sabo. So I still don't think he does a lot of counter, that he didn't want to defend the Sabo, getting rid of both of his blockers. But at 10 Don, you know, a lot of things he can do. Depends on what top end he has, though. But even if he doesn't, he could definitely flood the board with 2 to 3 bodies, right? Which all those 6k swings, which are even minus 1k from shanks, still add up. He goes 7, which is actually 6. So yeah, 6 at life. I give it 2k. He goes 6 at life. Again, I take. We get another Boa. And he goes 6. We block. He plays out blocker. And blocker Rosinante. And Robin. So KO immune board. So we can't KO anything. We draw another shanks. And I'm like, yeah, I'll probably just do another shanks. I think that's a good play against these wide boards. So we go 8 into 3 there. Yeah, not really worth it to defend, losing all of your blockers, right? And then we go 12-12 at life. He Doflamingos, freezes everything. And then goes 5 life. We 1k out of it. Honestly, here I probably should just play out the 10 drop minus 3k power from everything. I think that's valid. I think that's worth. Basically, all I'd have to worry about is the 10 drop. But I think this play is actually pretty good too. The Boa, prevent the Dofi, bottom deck of Law, and we play out the Shariah too. I think that's a totally valid play. I don't think I need the Shariah even. I think I could have just given Boa a rush, drawn an extra card, and swung 8, pressured his life. You know, because those blockers are a very, very low power, right? So if I pressure one, get rid of one of them, this next turn would have been a lot easier for me, and we might have had just an easier time going for it. However, I let the blocker go because I didn't want to counter out, but I should have just taken the life here. So we trash the Dofi with Ben Beckman. We go 7 at life, 8 at life. He counters out. So he has 5 in hand still, which is kind of scaring me. 9 life, and I'm like, okay, he has to take this or I lose, basically. He counters out. And I'm like 12 at 7 here, trying to stop him. But, a little too late. I will go over what I probably should have done, here. I think we talked about, but if I just swing with the Boa, that's more pressure. But here he goes 6, right? So So he goes, I think 9 with 6 Don plus 3 from Lim because she's -2, and then 4 on Lim. All we had to do was counter. I have an AK, and we just didn't have enough counter by 1. So yeah, I think Otama on the Zoro was not necessary. That would have been another 2k counter in my hand. Giving Boa Rush would have been another card in hand. Plus, I don't need the Shariah, right? I'm freezing the main threat. So why do I need a blocker, right? I just don't. Also, I should have just taken the hit to life there, used Shariah to swing. The reason that I just blocked out is because I knew I wanted to play Ben Beckman to trash his blocker, Doflamingo, to push for game. I thought that, you know, 2 life, 1 blocker versus a 7k, 2 8ks, and 2 12ks would be enough, but it wasn't, unfortunately. You know, when you got the counter, you got the counter. He was letting stuff go for a while, so I guess that just means that, you know, he was building up counter in his hand to protect life, right? Because it's not as valuable to protect board against, you know, having 2 10 cost shanks on it, right? It's a lot harder to protect your board, so you just let him go. So I should have thought about that more. But yeah, if I pressure that 1 turn with a Boa 8k swing, right? I think I get one of those blockers or at least 2 2ks, which then follow up the next turn. That would have been enough. I would have been probably able to win. Or if I just didn't use that Otama earlier on to get rid of the Zoro, I would have had to ask him if he had the counter to protect the Zoro at the time without the Otama. Who knows, because that was pretty early in the game. But I think those were some of my bigger mistakes. Also, if I just played out another 10-drop Shanks, I think that would have probably sealed the deal. You know, stunning the Doflamingo is great, but also making that Doflamingo a 7k swing is even better, I think. Even if we have to take a life, we were at still 2 life, right? So, I don't know. I think I should have played out another 10-drop, like... Or if I'm going to play out the Boa, I should have given it Rush to draw an extra card and pressured the board to try and get one of those blockers out. Because if I know I'm going to trash one of the blockers and I can get the other one out, right, then that just makes it so easy to go for game the following turn. So I really should have just thought more about my turn going for game, right? And I think we might have had this. Also, extreme shout out to this 3rd round. I got the bye. But my buddy was like, you know, since you're recording, I'll play you. Also, shout out to this man coming back to locals. Love seeing, you know, friends returning to the scene, having fun with it. We got Blue Doflamingo, which, you know, famously doesn't, you know, bode well for Vivi, famously. There have been tales told of how this is not a great matchup for us. You know, that's very aggressive leader over there. Against a leader that cannot swing. But we do have some things we can do, you know, some things that can help balance it out. You know, if we can protect our board and our life and survive until we can chain a couple of Rayleighs, which we see we have in hand. The blocker Rayleigh too. That can help us, right? That blocker Rayleigh will probably always be able to be used because he's going to probably cheat out multiple bodies, right? So we always get a bit of cycle while establishing a pretty good stat line blocker. We are going first, which, you know, womp womp. You don't always get your way, even though going second is super good. He plays out the Teach. We draw, go 3 Dawn. And I think we just play out the Shariah. I'm always debating playing out the Shariah versus drawing with leader ability. However, we can counter out any swing against life with just 1k counter here. Which definitely probably should, just to respect the pudding. However, I feel like I'm gonna just want to take this first swing anyway. I don't know. But he also just only plays out the Weeble, right? And I'm like, oh, okay. I was expecting like a 7k swing into like a Jinbei into something else, especially with the Teach. But now we can't use the Rayleigh, which doubly sucks. Here I just... I think I'm going to play out the Brook, which attaches to Arrested Dawn to itself to swing. Here I just straight up try to cheat because I'm stupid and forget how things work. I rest. I don't know what. Listen, I don't know why I gave this to Rested Dawn. Okay. I forgot how things work. This was a long day. Okay. It's locals. I don't think a 7 or 8K Brook swing versus the 6 or whatever that he took anyway mattered. But, you know, I think my brain was like, yeah, no, attach the 2 Rested Dawn. But I forgot that I had already done that. I don't know. And then he bounces my Shariah with a Law. And goes like 8, I think, with leader. Cheats out a Weevil. 8 we have to take because we don't have a lot of 2Ks. But yeah, we just go grab Blade to get rid of his board. Again, we're trying to just stall until we can play out Rayleighs to kind of clear his board while establishing a big body that he can't really get rid of because it's out of grab Blade range. Listen, if you got any complaints about me, you know, accidentally cheating or also getting smoked, I know I'm just doing horrible tonight, you know, like, and we're just having fun, just bringing Vivi to locals. And oh my god, is that a video of me squatting 455 somewhere? Crazy. God, I don't know how that got into the video. That's wild. It's crazy. That was a good squat though. He Sengoku's searches. Luckily we're just not getting hit with the Jinbei or Jinbei into anything combo, right? Or pudding. So we counter out that. Go up to 9 Dawn. I think we're just gonna play the Rayleigh out to get rid of something. So we -3 to the Weevil, -2 to the Mihawk, and pop the Weevil. Attach her Dawn to Vivi because, you know, just to show them that we got it like that. But got a really weird hand. I just want to drop this 10 drop. Honestly, I feel like the 10 drop could really help in this matchup. You know, all those 5K swings you would need to attach a Dawn for. So that means you just can't play out as many bodies, right? It's a lot of value in this kind of matchup, but he Jozu's. So I'm like, oh, okay, you know, that's a little bit more rough. Also, shout out to my iPhone running out of space midway through recording this matchup, and I didn't even notice. Listen. You know, what are you gonna do, right? Sometimes stuff just happens. This is a for fun match anyway. All right, I got the bye for this round, so you know, this was my well-deserved win regardless. Okay, this is just a for fun match. He plays out the Law to bounce the Perona back to hand and bounce the Law back to hand. I'm going to get that Law eventually, just you wait. You can't escape my grasp forever. He goes like 9 at life, which is super weird, or rude, I should say. We counter out 10. We draw another Rayleigh, I think. And I'm like, should I play the 10 drop or the Rayleigh? I feel like I should 10 drop, but I kind of want another card. I don't know why. We could just easily get puddinged, but we just go AK 3 times, burn some counter out of his hand. Boom, boom, boom. He takes one at least. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I realistically should play out 10 drops way sooner. Like, even if I don't get the most value out of the turn, like maybe if I could pop something with Rayleigh, like maybe I should sacrifice that just to get the better value later on. Because then if I play a Rayleigh after a 10 drop, right, you can pop a 7K power body. So I could have popped one of his Jozu's, right? Which is pretty good. Pretty good. So here he goes, attaching Dawn to leader. Gonna cheat something out. He had just used Perona, right? So he goes 9, cheats out the Weevil, draws a card. We take. So this Jozu, I think, is a 4K power, right? So maybe not gonna swing with it. He plays out Law. So yeah, we're in a bad spot. 1 life. He's got, you know, a couple bodies, but we got the mythical Grav Blade. here to save the day once again, but I'm debating, do I just draw a card or do I play out the Shariah? I think we play out the Shariah. I'm like, does he have another bounce law? I'm like, I should look through his trash to see if he does another bounce law. But then I'm like, that bounce law has been bouncing itself the entire game. So no, there's not another bounce law in his trash. We just grab blade and then swing 8 into 6, 3 times. Probably not worth it to, save it too much, right? I don't know. He's got a lot of cards in hand. So we just go 8. A couple of times to get some counter out to try and go for game the next turn. He counters out of the AK swing. We play out the Shariah, so if he doesn't bounce it, then we only need 1k to get out of a leader swing, which is nice. Hits the Perona. We'll see if the Shariah saves us. Oh, yeah, but we're talking about hasn't seen his blockers, which apparently hasn't been able to see his blockers a lot tonight, which, sometimes you just get nights like that, you have a 4 of in your deck and you just don't see it all night, and it's super weird. But you'll see like all of your 2 ofs or your 1 ofs, and it's just super, super odd. So he goes something with leader and we just block out with 1k, and then he puttings us. RIP the 10 drops. And he does not want to cut, so we just draw 5. See what we draw. It's a dragon, so that's actually pretty good if we wanted to go for game next turn, which we do, right? We can't clear his board. He takes the boa finally. I think just as a funny bit of finally finds the boa, right? This was just a for fun game regardless, y'all. We go 8, he counters out. And then we go 9, and then big number for GG. Again, shout out to my buddy for playing me, just for y'all to see something, even if it was a not so serious game. Still just nice to have stuff, and I'm going through, it's so weird. My putting was exactly the top card and the bottom card, and then in the middle. So weird. I don't know. All right, but shout out to our round 4 opponent. Very long locals tonight. Purple Luffy, not a matchup that I'm super looking forward to be honest. I feel like we can very easily just get punched down pretty quick, but he takes a Nami from the law. We did have to go first, which, womp womp again. We draw a 2k counter, and we're just going to use leader ability, draw another card. Don't got to worry too much about our hand size getting disrupted here. I don't think too many people are playing the law blocker to rip 2 cards out of hand no more. Just goes to 5 at life. So I'm expecting just a 5 drop coming out. Yeah, the kid. So we up to 5 Don. All we really got is the Marco to KO the law. But, 2 boas, not bad. We can't stun. Well, actually, you can stun Luffy Taro. I learned, because that is technically not Monkey D. Luffy according to the rules. So Luffy Taro can be stunned by boa. I don't know if I remembered that during this match. I actually don't remember. I take the 6k. So we're up to 7. I could grab blade, right? I think I had grab blade, but I kind of want to establish the body, so we get rid of the Sangoro and swing 6 and pass. Yeah, I did have the grab blade, so maybe grab blading them both would have been nice, but then I wouldn't have had another body. And, the Ben Beckman is pretty good. He plays out the 9 mom. So pitches that Nami, puts Marco back down to the bottom. And then goes 6 of life. I 2k because we're going to have an 8k swing coming out. And we get, I think, was that another boa? So, yeah. We've seen like all of our boas all night, but I mean, that's what happens when you have it as a 4 of in the deck, right? And you're drawing so much extra cards. So here, I'm probably just going to stun that Big Mom. Yep. So Big Mom can't attack. Go rush. So go 7 at life. He blocks, gives 2k. Go 9 at kid. And we pass. So a lot of 2ks now, a lot of boas. I'm actually feeling pretty okay because I can keep that big mom stunned, you know. Goes 8 at life. Give it 2 2ks. Take that other 8. Sanji goes 7 at life. Then counter out 2 and 1. So a lot of aggression coming out, but we survive. Go up to Tendon finally. I think we're going to hit this with a Rayleigh play to minus the 2 bodies to swing into them. Try and just clear the board a bit. I don't know. I don't feel like I can win the aggression bit right now. He's at 4 life, right? So we minus the 2. Give Rayleigh rush and draw. Go 7 at 5. So both we minus 3k from the Luffy Taro, 2k from the Sanji, right? So they both become 5k bodies. We swing out at them, get a little bit of counter and clear the board. We're at 3 life because of the Marco heal. He goes 6 at life. We give it 2k. Goes 9 at life. We take. Get a Duval. Goes another 9 mom. Puts Boa to the bottom life. And he's back up to 5 life, which is not making me feel great, I'll be honest. We draw. But he's got only like 2 cards in hand because he's pitching with that big mom and I haven't been hitting his life. So we give Bo a rush, stun that big mom, go 9 at big mom, 9 at big mom, and he gives up the hand. I don't know if you give up the hand here, to be honest, but I guess you want to keep those big moms. Now I think it's worth because, you know, I only had those 2 swings and he plays out the big mom. And because I hit him once for life, he did have the card to trash to do it, right? So puts my other one. So I'm like, maybe I should have just not swung at life. But I guess I mean, I had to. He was at 5 life, right? Can't leave him at 5 life. It goes 9 into Ben Beckman. We 0 cost a grab blade because the grab blade is not doing nothing for us now. So we take the hit the life, get a pudding. Again, does not help us because he has like nothing in hand. Go for another Boa, stun 1, use the ability to draw. Give Boa a rush, go 9 to the big mom. It goes, we go 7 at life, 8 at life. He takes down to 3. Got a little bit more counter and then another big mom. So, man, every Boa that I've played out, he's got a big mom to respond with, but every big mom he plays out, I got a Boa to respond with. Just kind of funny. He goes 9 into the Ben Beckman. I counter out a lot here because I'm like, 1 is stunned and 1 just play out, right? That's the reason I saved it. So 3 life, all Boas. So we got another Boa, stun 1 of them. Use 9 of that big mom. It goes, so then I can use leader ability to draw, give Boa a rush. We go 7 at life, 8 at life, and we pass. So with 1 big mom, 1 leader swing, I'm feeling pretty safe. You know, even with a rush card, we can't die. He goes 12 at 8. Again, the reason I'm saving this is because I know that big mom is stunned. So if he wants to commit a lot of Don to get rid of one of my bodies, that's fine. But I probably shouldn't have dumped so many. If I had another 2k, that would have been way more worth to save. But because they gave up so many 1k counters, you know. But we do have the Rayleigh blocker, right? So I could refill my hand, get rid of that dead card, right? But he goes 11 at Beckman. It's gone. So we draw. We go 8 at life. He's got 1 Don up. You know, assuming it's a giant. Here, I make one big mistake and we can kind of all look at it. I play the 10 cost Shanks. No way in any scenario you need to play the 12 cost Shanks. All I need to do to secure this is play out the Rayleigh, draw 2, trash 1, play out the Shariah. I then have cards in hand, 2 blockers. Even if he plays out a rush, I don't die. But I'm thinking all I need to do is, you know, him not play out the rush Sanji and I win. But he has it, so I lose, unfortunately. I don't know why I didn't just play out the blockers. That was like the safest bet and like guarantees my win. I even thought about it and I just still decided not to. I have no idea why. Even if I just swung the 12k at an 8k body, I feel like that would have been more worth, right? Because maybe he has to counter out with that Sanji then. Which you shouldn't flip-flop if you're going for aggression, going for game, right? And then switching to go for board is never like a great plan, because then your opponent has cards from taking those life to defend their board, especially after he just gum giant to get rid of a dead card in hand. So yeah, I really just needed to play out the blockers and I would have won, because he could have rested 1, I would have blocked out 1 and just won there, right? Even if he decides to go for my board, I could have probably saved one of my bodies and then played out the Shanks next turn to go for game, something like that. But yeah, I think that was just a big misplay on my part. I don't think there's a world where he pushes for game when I have 2 blockers out, so I probably would have lost most of my board. But if I drew into more counter with the Rayleigh, and I would have even been able to draw another card, right? 5 for Rayleigh, 3 for Shariah, that's 8, so I would have been able to draw an extra card, so maybe we could have defended our board even to keep up pressure to go for game the next turn. Who knows, right? He would have been down to 1 life, not a lot in hand, so who knows. But yeah, definitely the better strategy, putting down 2 blockers to just guarantee that I don't die. Yeah, but GG. Funny that we just kept responding with the same cards, you know, 4 big moms, 4 boas, right? All right, shout out to our round 5 opponent. Okay, so full disclosure, locals is done at this point. We both got a bye for our last round. The only reason there was the last round is because there was still 2 undefeateds, so we were just going until, you know, only 1, right? So a lot of people at this point just like decide to stop playing because, you know, it's been a long night, right? But since we both got a bye, we're like, let's just play for fun. We do get to go second against Sanji. Shout out to my man on Sanji. I love it. It's a deck that I thought would be fun, but during the time, I just have had other decks that I wanted to try out, right? He goes 5 of life. We give 1k. But again, hopefully we can just kind of stabilize until we have, I mean, we have the Shariah, another blocker, a couple 2Ks. So hopefully, you know, we can survive till our late game. He plays out a Shariah and passes, which is good for us, you know, just a little bit less swings, you know. Same Duval play. I've been like lucky to get the Duval so much tonight, and then we get another 2K from that Duval into leader ability. I really like the newest edition that I really like, Duval, super good. He goes 6 at life. We give one of our many 2K counters. So he goes Zoro to give him rush, the Zoro that like buffs himself up 1. I bottom deck the Shariah because I have the Boa to stun the Zoro. I should have probably still bottom decked the Zoro, stun the Shariah, but you know, is what it is. Because I don't know if he'll ever swing with the Shariah, right? And also Shariah doesn't get much value in this matchup because I can't swing with leader. So yeah, I probably should just bottom deck the Zoro. I don't know. It's been a long night. It's been a long night of locals too. Again, this is the 5th round, which is kind of crazy. Locals is popping. I don't know. There's a lot of people. I don't know how many people go to your guys' locals. Let me know in the comments. But this was a big locals. So he goes 5 of life. We give a 2K counter because I don't want to really counter out their Shariah right now. He goes 9 because he's got that 7 cost 9K vanilla Little Ors Jr. We draw the one of Roger in the deck. I really like this this tech. I don't know. I think it's fun. We go 8 at life. We go 6 boa. Little ores can't attack. Draw a card with leader ability. Go 8 again at life. And he takes. We're kind of just trying to rush each other down. I feel like at this point, while I try to prevent as many attacks, right? Go 7 at life. 2 and a 1. I think I'm going to play out the 10 cost Shanks next turn. He goes 6. We give 2k. And gives Wapple Rush. So that's 9 at life, but he minuses the boa. So Wapple has plus 2k on his turn, similar to that Zoro that remains buffed, right? So we at 10. We play out the Shanks. Here, I feel like I should... I don't know, man. Should I have just pushed for life, too? Like, I don't have a lot of counter, but I have 3 life. Everything's -1. I think... I don't know. I feel like I should have swung 12 at Wapple and then just swung 8 at... I don't know. No. Hit... Because I think he counters out of the 8... And I kind of should have hit his life here, you know, get him down to 2 life to push for game next turn. Because even with that -1k, I still don't have a lot of counter. Got 3k counter in hand, 3 life. He can hit me 3 times this turn. Because that little Ors is no longer stunned. He goes 8 at life. We get a Rayleigh. He goes 8 to life. We get a grab blade, and then he goes another 8 to life. And yeah, here it's just whoopsie daisy. Yeah, I really wish I got him down to 2 life, right? But if he had an extra swing, that's why I was like, I should have swung the 12 at Wapple just to get rid of him and swing 8 at life. But then who knows, you know, that extra counter in his hand, how that affects things. But we kind of just have to go for it here. There's no way that I can clear. I can establish 2 blockers. However, he's a red deck with Straw Hat. You know, you always got to respect maybe he's got the Jambe, right? And if he Jambes, then I'm just dead. There's nothing I can really do about that. And that's what I'm kind of debating here. So we go 8, he takes 8, he takes. Go 12 and then 13. And... we just, it's funny because he's like, dang, I really should have counted out the earlier one, because I think even here, yeah, he had the Jambe, which I'm like, dang, I really should have not played out those blockers. That's what I was worried about. But I think he had the counter to get out of an AK swing. But I guess he didn't expect the Goldie Roger, which is, you know, the most I can swing out with 13. But I think also after we're done, we're like, wait, you actually do have the counter to get out of a 13. I don't know. Again, just shout out to my man for playing me for fun on camera, just for more games for y'all. A lot of mistakes. Made a lot of mistakes. And again, I think he did have the counter, so he ends up taking it. But a lot of mistakes. Hopefully we can all just learn from them. Hopefully I learned from them. This was a different deck list that you know, I wasn't used to, and maybe I just wasn't playing correctly with intended purposes, right? I feel like I should have pushed his life a little bit harder. There, he did have a lot of counter, but I should have probably pushed life a little bit harder, maybe gone for game a little bit easier this turn, right? Definitely a lot of mistakes that we went over and talked about. If I didn't mention anything, yeah, definitely leave it in the comments. Again, remember to be nice to my opponents, right? They're all just regular people who just come to locals for fun, because that's what locals is supposed to be, just for fun. But here's the list that my buddy actually made, and I think probably a little bit better than what I had. I think I had a couple more events, right? I think I had less dragon in it, and I think I had a Sanji instead of one of the spot build, because I just didn't have a 4th spot build, honestly. But yeah, I like the list. It's a lot of aggression, because, you know, same thing with Sanji with Brook, being that, you know, we can attack early on for just 2 Dawn, or 4 Dawn really, right? We can give Brook Rush on 4 Dawn, swing 5. It's not bad. A little bit less than Sanji, but we don't have to take a life from it, you know. We got the one of Roger. I think it's fun. Dragon, just another 8-don option for more aggression. But yeah, I think it's a bit different style from previous ways I've been playing Vivi, right? You can just be a lot more aggressive with this, and I think that can work a lot, but I just have to adapt my play style from how I typically play Vivi, and just more game sense. I think I was just off tonight, which, you know, it happens, but we can learn from it, do better next week, and have fun. And I had fun, and that's the point. So let me know what you think of this list down in the comments. Anything you would change, do differently. I really like it. I want to give it more of a try, but we'll see what I bring to locals next week. Hopefully we do a bit better. And I definitely want to try this list out in the sim, you know, maybe get some different practice. I feel like a lot of this is intended for, you know, definitely the Marco helps in the Dopey matchup. I think Dragon can really help against Teach, which is typically a really bad matchup for us, right? Our Rayleigh doesn't do much against Blackbeard, but Dragon at least is still like a 9k rush, even though you don't get to use the 2-rested Don. So 8 to go 9, it's not bad. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, and hope to see you on our next one. Bye bye.